Hello again, all my crazy crafting buddies. This is going to be part 2 of our Farmer's Market mini album. If you haven't already watched part 1, that's where we covered our covers and spine, and we made our pages, and we did our binding. And now we're going to go ahead and start matting and just some light decorating. I'm going to try and get this in 2 videos. I wanted to break it up so you didn't have to fast forward or rewind to get to what you want. This is one of the projects that I'm doing for the creative design team at Country Craft Creations, and I highly recommend you check out everything that's going on over there. There's a Facebook page called Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. It is a closed group, but if you're a crafter and you're serious, I know that they will approve you to join. So let's get started and cut some papers and purdy this thing up. All right, moving right along. Here's what I've decided to do for my inside covers. In the Noteworthy pack that Tamara sent over from Country Craft Creations, BoBunny Noteworthy, and this of course is still in the Farmer's Market, all right? They had, it was this one right here, this like little mat, and I cut it in 2. And I just used my X-Acto knife. And here's why I did that. I decided that what I want on my inside covers is just this little pocket. It fit perfect, and I like it up against that color. So I'm going to mat this a little different than I normally would. Normally I would mat like all the way in and put a pocket on top. But because of the way this is cut, I'm actually going to kind of butt them up. Well, not quite butt them up, but anyway, I'm going to line them up like so. All right, so step 1, let's get this polka dot paper down. And wait till you all see what I found at Joann's. I mean, just tickled me to death. Let me get this down first. Getting ahead of myself. Just so excited. Do y'all get excited when you get stuff and it matches and you're like, oh yeah, I could use that. That would be so cool. Or, you know, maybe it's just me. I am totally in touch with my inner child. We are very good friends. We hang out together. Couldn't get rid of her if I wanted to. All right. So I'm just going to leave a little border, about 1/8 of an inch there, right there where my crease is, the end of my cover. All right, and I tried to, you know, semi-center it top to bottom. Might be a little bit closer to the bottom, but, you know, I'm pretty sure anybody that receives this is not going to get out their tape measure and say, oh, that's a 32nd of an inch off. How dare you give me that? All right, so there's step 1. And step 2 is going to be to put our pocket down. And I want it right there. Oh yeah, how cute is that? And that's going to lead me to show you what I got at Joann's. They were having such a wonderful sale. All the paper pads were 50% off. All right. All the Tim Holtz goodies were 50% off. Plus, I had a 20% off entire purchase coupon. So, who do I think I am today? Alright, just got a little too much glue right there. Alright, I'm not gluing on this side because I want it open. I'm going to put a tag or something or other in there inside this pocket. So, line it up top and bottom first, and then stick her down. Alright. I know y'all are excited. You want to see what I got at Joann's, right? You're wanting me to hurry up with this so we can move on to it, right? Ah, come on. Let your inner child out to play with mine. Okay. So, I'm going to do the exact same thing on the back cover. Only, you know, obviously with the other half. It's not going to have buttons on it, but, or spools, excuse me. Those are spools of thread. But isn't that cute? We're just going to have a little mini pocket tuck spot thing there on the inside cover. I had thought about a waterfall, but I don't know. I just thought that looked really cute. And if you have it front and back, it like bookends it, is what I was thinking. So that one's going to go there, and that one's going to go there. And I just kind of liked the look of that. So, oh shoot, I'm getting low battery. Dang it. I got to think to check that before I start yakking. Anyway, here's what I wanted to show you. You know that in this collection, there was a couple of pages that look like burlap, and I love them. And I already used them up on the mini crate. But guess what I found? I found a whole stack of 6x6" burlap. I've already tried to rip it apart. Anyway, this is like burlap fused to paper or cardstock, whatever. Isn't that the coolest thing? That's what my inserts are going to be. I'm going to use those for the inserts on all my base pages. It's a little too wide. I got to trim it up. But I just thought that was so perfect. All right, my stupid battery light is blinking. So I'll just prep some other stuff, and I'll go ahead and finish up my back cover to match the front. And I'll come back and yak at you about some more stuff. But how perfect is that paper? And it was 50% off. So this was like $7.99, I think, something like that. And so that's $4 with my 50% off. And then I had 20% off of that. So I got the whole thing for $3.20, y'all. And you can see there's 24 pieces. They're all nice and thick. I just thought that was absolutely the perfect complement to go with this paper. And I'm just afraid this stupid camera is going to cut me off. So, all right. I am going to go charge my battery. Talk to you soon. All right. So I went ahead, all right, we did the front cover, and then I went ahead after my battery died, and I put it on the charger, and I did the back cover, okay? Now, I also went and cut that gorgeous burlap paper I showed you for our inserts. So let me give you those dimensions. You're going to need 3 of them that are cut at 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Those are the ones that are going to go in your top inserts. All right. The ones that go in the side inserts are a little bit shorter. Where is it? Oh, it's this one. They're a little bit shorter because of the way this was attached. So these are going to be 5 3/4 tall, but only 5 1/2 deep. Okay. I was going to do them 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 so they'd stick out a little bit, but I decided that I wanted them to pull out like this. All right. Now I've already done 2 of these, and I'm going to do the 3rd one with you to show you what I've done. All right. So there is our 5 1/2 by 5 3/4, and what I did was on this sheet that's called Back to Backs in our Farmers Market series, down here there were 4 little like pull tabs or tab toppers or whatever, and I've fussy cut out 3 of them. Okay, I've already done 2. This is the 3rd one that I'm going to do with you. So I fussy cut it out, and I went ahead and I inked my edges. Okay, then you're going to want to put a magnet on the back. Okay, see how there's a magnet taped right there? Then what you're going to want to do is get a piece of your cardstock, and we're going to glue it down. Okay. All right, we're going to glue it down. Got a little piece of tape right there. Let me get rid of this pin that I'm always holding in my mouth. All right. You're going to want to leave it down from the top and over from the edge because we're going to fussy cut around it. Okay? So make sure that's adhered really well. And then grab your scissors and your fussy cut. That's everybody's favorite, right? Woohoo! And I just do a small border around, and then I did go ahead and ink it up a little bit. And, you know, with you watching, I'm probably going to screw this up. I'm not the world's greatest fussy cutter to begin with, but, you know, see? Look at me messing up. That's okay. If it gets thick and thin, that's just rustic, right? That's what we're going to call it, y'all. It's rustic. Thank goodness it's kind of a country style album and we can pull off rustic, right? It doesn't really matter because when you go ink it up, which I'm going to do, you can't really tell that much about if it's consistently the same width. I'm trying to kind of sort of hurry because, man, that's got to be boring to watch. This is why I didn't do all 3 of them on camera. I don't know, if you're like me, you get the information you need and then you fast forward through all the other stuff. So I try and just make sure everything is demoed for you, but then not make you sit through all the mess. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do, still a little damp from the glue there. All right, make sure everything's down really well. All right. Next thing I do is I grab my scoreboard. Okay. And I just kind of line it up to where I score just a little bit, you know, try and leave about the same border as we have on the sides. Try to get it halfway straight. Boy, that's crooked. Crooked is what that is. Let's see. Let's try again. That's a little better. All right. So let's go ahead and fold that. Get that out of the way. I need to go back to Country Craft Creations and get my Score Pal with the mat. I had it in my cart and decided, better not spend the money quite yet, but I am going to definitely get that. I know it's a great investment. I don't particularly care for my scoreboard. I bought it when I first started with paper crafting and had no idea what I needed and what was good and this, that, and the other. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this a little shorter. There we go. So that I have a flap that's, I don't know, 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch wide. All right. Oops. Did you hear that crash in the floor? All right. So then I'm going to ink it. Ink, 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 ink. Ink it up. Especially the back side. Alright, because I am just going to leave a cardstock back, so I want it to have a nice inked edge border. Okay, now, if you guys do what I did on my first one, and you put it on your cardstock and cut it out and you forgot to put your magnet, what I did was I got one of the spool looking stickers and just went ahead and put my magnet on the back side of my cardstock and glued a sticker over it really well and put it like that. So this one is going to go back here. So let's pull out our insert that's going to go on and center it. Now make sure you've got it on the right edge. Now remember, because these are only 5.5 this way and 5 3/4, and that's why I left it in there and I pulled it out knowing that's the edge. See, if you put it in the other way, it's too long. Okay? So, this away, and we know it's going to fit. Alright, So I'm going to want it in the center, or as, you know, reasonably close. And I went ahead and I inked the edges of this burlap as well, this burlap paper. Alright, so it's inked. I didn't get the back of this one very good. You just want to make sure that's done before you go to gluing stuff on there, because it's going to be awful hard to get that on there once that's glued. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the edge I want. Well, actually, let's do that one because that one's a little rough. But you know what? I turned it around 13 times, so who knows? All right, double check. Always double check. All right. Measure 3 times, cut once, right? Okay, so I want it right there. Sometimes it's easier to center it on the back where there's no real design. And I just glued mine. This tab is a little short, but it's not too bad. We'll make it work. Now I realize that my cardstock does not match the color of the back of this, and that looks a little tacky. But I've come up with a remedy for that. And that is the wonderful sticker sheet. Ha ha ha. Alright, so if you look at this one that I've already done and you flip it over, looky there. I took one of those little sticker borders and put right over it. It decorates the back of my insert a little bit, and it hides where I've glued my tab on. So, you know, win-win right there, right? Alright. Now we need to place our magnet. And I'm not sure which of the stickers. I've got a couple of border stickers left. I'll either use this one or this one, or I could even use the other half of that one. I don't know yet. Worry about that in a minute. Right now, I want to place my magnet. So, get my page in there, or my insert in there the way I want it. Grab my magnets here, and just let it do its thing. I don't have to think because it does the work for me. Put my glue on the back. And make sure it's got room to fold over. Mark my spot right there. Put my glue to my glue. And just to make sure it's really good and secure, I will grab my score tape and just put a little piece across there like that. And now I can go ahead and mat this page. And if you're just doing a standard matting of your pages, you're going to need 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and that'll give you an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. That burlap, warning, that burlap will get little tiny, they're not fuzzies, and they're not quite threads, fibers. There's what they are, they're fibers. And I haven't picked out my pattern paper for back here yet. No, I don't want the blue. I think I want this stripe. And I'll have to find that. It's laying around here somewhere. There it is. I think I want that right there. So I'm going to cut that and put it on. But anyway, that's what I've done with the side pull inserts. I have a different plan for the top pull inserts. Let me tell you what that plan is. I am going to take these ticket things, okay, and I'm going to cut them apart, and I'm going to ink the edges, and then I'm going to stick one to the other at the top, and then I'm going to put the bottom half on here. I want these sticking up, and I don't even care if they stick up past the top of my book, because I think that'll be cute. So the plan is to take this sticker. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. And they got these tiny little dots to look like perforations. So just cut it right along there. Ink the edges like so. See, I come up with my formatting of my pages and stuff by the paper and the embellishments, and I don't know, they talk to me and tell me what I want to do. So I'm going to kind of break this into thirds because I want my tabs staggered on the 3. So the front one I'm going to want all the way over to the left side. Alright, so here's my plan. Kind of put it about 1/4 of an inch in, about half of the sticker on the burlap. I hope I was not just off camera. Alright, and I need to glue it instead of just sticking it there. And then I'm going to get the next one and do the same thing with it. Cut it. Ink it. Alright, let's go ahead and put our glue on this one. Flip this over. I know it's a sticker, but I want to make sure it doesn't peel apart, so I'm putting glue on a sticker. Alright, and then line it up with the one that's on the other side. Just like so. And then clean up the mess. I'm telling you, I cannot use glue to save my neck. Alright, so there, uh-oh, it's not lined up very well. Hold on, hold on. Gotta regroup. Sticking out. Can't have any sticky out parts. Okay. They may not be exactly the same length, so we're going to remedy that, let me tell you, with ink. Perfect. Get rid of those white edges. And we are golden, y'all. Look at that. Let's just make sure we're down good. Yep. So, there's our first one. I probably should have picked out my papers first to make sure they're going to coordinate, but now I just have to, maybe I'll put blue there. So there we go. So we're going to have one here. The next one, which is this one, I will put it in the center, and then this one I'm going to put in 1/4 inch from the right side. Okay? And I want to go through and pick out my papers before I do the rest of these. I may switch it. Maybe I want that one in the back and then they'll go this way. Who knows? But I really do kind of want to pick out my papers before I finish that up. So here is my side pull. Okay. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to do. Since I have, since I put stickers on the back of the ones that have magnets, I want to make sure it's consistent and get one of the other button sticker or spool stickers and put on the back of that one. Because, you know, we can't have one that's different. Then they'll know that, you know, I screwed something up somewhere and that it was a remedy. See, we just want it to look like a design, not a fix. So, put this one about right there. Alright. And like I said, I will pick out a paper for that and get that done, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So, I'll probably put something decorative on these pages. I won't leave them just like that, but for the most part, just a big mat. We'll put a sticker or a tuck spot or something cute and decorative on there, but pretty much those pages are ready to go. super, super simple. I told you I'm going to keep this one pretty simple. Nice clean lines, very functional, room for big pictures, and we'll still get a good 30 plus pictures in this album, no problem. All right, and I'll be right back with the next step. All right, so in the spirit of keeping this a quick and simple album, what I have done is I've gone through and cut all my papers for the base pages, okay? We have 6 pages, front and back, that's 12. We have put paper on 3 of them already, okay? So that leaves 9. So what I did was I just went through my 12 by 12 papers and I cut out 9 papers I haven't used yet, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and get all of these inked, and then I'm going to figure out which ones I want where. All right, so, and then I'll figure out, you know, what papers I want to put with them. I do know that, like, I think maybe my words are going to be ones that I want to have flaps over. You know what I mean? And since we have polka dots on the front and back cover, I know I want polka dots somewhere in the middle. So somewhere in here will be good for polka dot. And then we can say, well, what looks good with the polka dot? That looks really cute with the polka dots, I think. And I may move these around as I start running out. All right, what looks good next to our red? That looks good next. Ooh, I like this next to our red too. For some reason, I like that better next to the red. And then let's see, over here, I like the blue with the, oh, but there's no blue on there. And there's blue on this one. So maybe we switch these and put that there. Yeah, I like that better. Now let's see if I like this equally well. I don't know that I do. It looks a little pale next to that. We might want that one instead. See? It's the process. And, you know, you've got to go through and do your process, same. Figure out where you want yours. That leaves that there. No, that there. Okay. So where do I put the burlap then? Well, I'm not putting the burlap on the very front. Or maybe I am. You know what? Maybe I am. I kind of like it there. Didn't think I would, but I kind of do. All right, so I'm pretty sure that's where my papers are going to go. So now I am just going to go through and ink them and glue them down. Well, I don't know if I had to glue them, you know. Once you get them glued, that means no magnets under them. But I'm keeping it simple, right? And we've already got several magnets, so maybe I shouldn't do, maybe if I glue them down, that keeps me from using any more magnets. Okay, maybe I'll do it then. Okay, I'm going to make myself do that. That means no more magnets in this whole album, but that's okay. We've got several. All right, so I'm just going to go through and ink and glue and ink and glue and ink and glue. And then we will have, oh, I'm scared to do this, because what then if I want pockets? Oh, well, I've already cut them. If I want pockets, I can put the pocket on top, can't I? Uh-oh, scoot it down, scoot it down. Too close to the top. There we go. Of course, now we've got burlap with burlap, but that's okay, because I'm going to put stuff over this and decorate it, and, you know, we'll have some ephemera or stickers or something going on here. I think it'll be okay to have the burlap next to the burlap. Alright, so I'm just going to continue on in that manner until I have all 9 of these, well, I got 8 left now, don't I? Okay, so I won't make you watch that. I'm sure you can ink pages and glue pages. Don't forget to take your tape backings off where you have your magnets, of course. You know, I've been known to actually forget that, so oops. Alright, so just go through and enjoy the process, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, now that all of our pages have the base mats on them, everything has been inked and glued down, and of course I opened that and had this distress ink laying next to it open, and I mucked that up a little bit, but we'll have pattern paper over it, so shh, don't tell anybody, don't tell anybody. Alright, so see how quickly this is coming together? I mean, wow. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Alright, so I'm going to worry about that in a minute. My next step is going to be to find my contrasting colors against my backgrounds for my flaps. Okay? I try and cut my biggest pieces of paper first, and the things that are going to show the most first. So if I start running short on selections, they're in places where it's not going to be it's not going to bother me quite so much if it wasn't my first choice. So starting with our first spread that has a couple of flaps, I like that there, and I like the stripe on the blue. Right? There's not a whole lot of these papers that contain the blue, so I kind of want to pair them up where I can. So we know that these are 6 by, what was it, 4.5? Is that what they are? 6 by 4.5. All right. So we want to cut our papers 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay. This one I want to go vertical, and this one I want horizontal. So let me move the book out of the way so I don't do something else to screw that up. All right, so 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. I want to make sure I have that little corner for the bottom. And I want this one to go sideways, so 4 1/4. Let me make sure that's straight. 4 1/4 by 5 3/4 for that one. You guys might notice that I haven't been rounding corners on this album, which I typically do, but I don't know, country and basic and square, I don't know. Square went with it for me for whatever reason, so I decided to leave them at 90-degree angles. It's just the mood I want for my book. If you guys prefer to put a rounded corner on yours, by all means, do that. Or, you know, if you prefer like a stub corner or something like that, then that's what you should do. Your book, your rules. And nobody can tell you it was supposed to be any different because it's your book. Your design is your way, so. There you go. Poetic license, creative license. That's what we're going to call it. All right, we are inked up and ready to roll. That one goes there and that one goes there. I don't know if on all of these, or at least some of them, I'm doing belly bands. I don't know, for whatever reason, they just scream belly bands to me, and I think it would be cute on at least one of these spreads if we have a vertical one and a horizontal one. Kind of like blocking or something. I don't know. This just seems like a real 90-degree angle type of album for me. Not sure why. Maybe that's just my mood as I'm putting it together. Maybe it has something to do with the graphics or the mood of the paper. I don't know. I don't know if it's the paper's mood or my mood or whatever, but it will be what it will be. Alright, there we go. Where's my bone folder? There it is. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And see how that ties in so nicely with the stripe that also has the orange as well as that blue. This really is a pretty quick mini, even though I have spread it over several days. Oh, goodness. You got to have life in there too, and you know, it's knitting season and I'm really being drawn to some yarns. So I've been bouncing back and forth in between my scarf I'm working on, or a wrap, whatever, and this mini album. So I get tired of sitting over there on the couch. It doesn't give me good support for my back sometimes, so I come over here and sit at the table and, you know, do this for a while, and then I get tired of sitting here, so I'll go knit and watch TV. And it's just been a wonderful week, and I've had the opportunity to be able to do that, so take advantage, take advantage. And I don't think I showed you, can you see that, how I staggered my tabs? Remember I was talking about that when I was talking about putting the tabs on the inserts. So I did put this one like a 1/4 inch from the left side. I centered the middle one, and then I can't push it in correctly. And then this one is like a 1/4 inch from the other side. And you know, if we get our papers on there and we decide they'd match better the other way, we can always take them and flip them around and put them this way. Or we could even do them to where they go from this side back to that side. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whoever gets it's probably gonna, you know, stick them wherever they want them anyway. So it does not matter if they don't match the paper. I mean, all these papers go together anyway. So it's gonna go pretty good. It's very damp here today, and everything just feels a little damp, and that's probably why these are sticking a little, going in and out, because they weren't the other day. All right, so that's that. Let's look at what we want for this. And I do have the 6x6 pad that I haven't really cut into other than the burlap yet. So I have that, but you know, I try to be as frugal with my papers as I can. Even though I have plenty, I could slap whatever I wanted to in this album. If I play it right, I'll have enough for another project. And you know, if you budget X amount for a project, that's wonderful. Like we budget, we just buy what we want, right, girls? You just buy whatever you can afford, like I ever budgeted for a project. But anyway, if you can squeeze another one out of it, bonus, bonus, bonus. Try and save yourself some money down the line. Oh, said no crafter ever. But anyway, all right, I'm going to take a look and see what papers I want to put over here. And I'll probably go ahead and slap them in since I showed you what I was doing. I'm not doing the backs yet. I may be adding pockets to these. I may be adding, who knows what I'll be adding as I get in and start decorating them. But right now I'm just getting the base things down. And if I had planned a pocket, I probably would cut these papers different, you know, because I'd have a little... I didn't plan any pockets. We might get the little mini pocket like stick-on kind that goes on top of the matting, but I definitely won't be doing the kind where you fold back a flap like so and put it, because then you want your paper to go on top of that so it doesn't catch on that little ledge when you slip things in and out of the pocket. So if I do any pockets, they'll be the kind where you put them down and you just glue real light around the edges. They're a tight pocket. They don't have a lot of room to put a lot of stuff in, but they're still very decorative. They're more decorative, and you can get little tags and stuff in there. All right, so I'm moving on. You start picking out your papers for your flappy doos, and I'll meet you back here in just a minute. All right, so I went ahead, I covered my flaps. Okay, flaps are covered. Isn't that cute? I just thought that paper. I haven't done the back because I want to leave some room in case I want to, you know, in case I get a brilliant idea somewhere. Because you know how often that happens. Anyway, all right, so I found the perfect piece in the chipboard set. Here, I've got it all torn apart, but I've shown it to you before, I'm pretty sure. All right, so that's the chipboard set. I think this is going to be perfect to dress up our burlap border. And I don't want to put it in the center because I'm going to, this side and a little bit of the top, I'm leaving open so you can slide a picture in there. And I'm going to put something with a little pull tab so that you can pull it out, whatever. I may even do a book if there's room in there for it. But anyway, let me explain to you what I've done. Obviously I've inked it, but I took some of the paper backing from here and I glued it to the parts that I don't want to stick, and I glued it with the glossy side up. It has this glossy side so the sticker comes off of it, and so what I've done is I flipped it over because it's the right width, and instead of trying to fuss with cutting some cardstock and backing it and all that, I thought, well shoot, they gave me the paper the right size, let me just use it. So I've got paper right here and paper here, not all the way across, just about like, I don't know, a little over halfway. And then I also put just a thin little strip across the bottom. All right, so the picture can, you know, slide in past the opening just a touch. So now what I'm gonna do is, now that I've got my paper backing on there where I do not want it to adhere to my page, I am going to put glue on the rest of it. Okay, and I'm going to put it where I want it. I'm going to be about right there. I'm going to try and get it reasonably straight. I'm going to hold it down a little bit till it dries. Okay. And then I've got this opening so that I can put something in there. And I want just a little edge right there. So I'm going to make sure there's no glue right there on that little edge. Just enough for whatever photo or whatever we put in there, just so it can sneak under that edge just a hair. Alright, so my next step is to figure out which thing I want to use for a pull tab. This paper offers several options for us. Okay, not on this page. There's some here. We could use these little thingies and put a brad and use that for a tab. We've got room and that would be cute. But also on the sticker sheet, I kind of like these. Look at that. Maybe that one. That one's kind of cool. There's that. Ooh, that would work really cute if we use our burlap. So, I don't know. I've got to decide. I'm not good at deciding. Oh, that would have worked if it was the other direction. If that was at the, you know, if it was at that end, so that could be at the top. I don't know. Could we put it at the bottom? I don't see why not. We may just want to use this. Alright, well let's figure out how big we want to cut our cardstock to put in here. We're going to need one that is, oh gosh, 4 by 4. Because it's okay if it comes out. And then we're going to need another 1/2 inch for the tab. So for now I'm going to do 4 by 4.5. So I'm going to cut my cardstock if I can find a piece laying around here. Dang it, I cleaned up. That never happens. All right, here's one. 4 by 4.25. Let's see, or did I say 4.5? See, I forgot already. Sitting here rambling and already forgot 4.5. All right, 4 by 4.5. Let's do it. Let's see if we've got 4.5 this direction. Why, sure, we got 5. So we'll cut the 4 this way to save us some paper. And we'll cut the 4.5 this way. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and leave that sticking out in case I need extra room for the tab to go around it or whatever. So let's see. And then, you know, if you put a picture in here, then you can go ahead and glue that down if you want to, so it doesn't pop up on you like that. All right. So to decide where exactly to put our tab, maybe I should just very lightly with a pencil, let's get that straight, mark our edge. Just a teeny little mark at the top and bottom. That way we know what we're working with to figure out what we're going to put on there. Now, do we want this whole thing sticking out? I think we do. I don't see why we wouldn't. Let's do this and do this. Ah! I'm not worrying about messing up the sticky because you know I'm going to glue it anyway, so. Alright, so there's that. Let's just go ahead, ink the edges of our little photo mat here. And I'm going to cut around, so I'm probably going to re-ink this edge, but that's okay. Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. A brilliant man I was married to once told me that. Alright, so now let's line this up with our mark. And I think this little sticker will act as a stopper that way too, to keep it from going in too far. Alright, so we've got the, oh, I was supposed to glue that, wasn't I? Did you hear me say I was going to glue it and then you saw me not glue it? Why didn't you holler at me? Oh, goodness. You know what? It's harder than you think to craft with a camera going. You think after a while you just get used to it and you'd craft the way. No, you don't. You always know that thing's going. And you trying to think ahead so you're not just making people... So, you forget little things like putting the glue down and, you know, stuff like that. Alright, so then we'll just get rid of that little sticky out part. Yes, that's the technical name for it, the sticky out part, and then hit it with the, yep, just like that. And then I think I'm going to go fussy cut around. Do I want to do it all the way up to the edge? I don't want to leave a border. I want that all the way to the edge. I think that'll look better, like it was designed to be that way, instead of one thing stuck on another thing. Yeah, I like that. Sometimes I'll leave a border, but this time I didn't want it there. Come on, that's a tight little turn there. There we go. I'm telling you, it has been so damp here. Everything. Like you walk across the carpet barefoot and the carpet feels damp. I just hate it. But the temperature's so nice that I don't want to close up the house and turn on. I mean, it's nowhere near warm enough for air conditioning. And it's nowhere near cool enough for heat. So it's just going to be damp. Okay. Look at that. See how easy that was? And then look what we got. Got a little mat to put a photo or whatever you want. Oh, and it doesn't go in far enough and it's got a border. I don't like. Oh, wait. Okay, there. Never mind. Ha ha. So how cute is that? So we now have our front page all done. Just that quick, y'all. Simple does not have to be unattractive. I think that's very cute, and you've got to admit it doesn't get much simpler than that in scrapbooking. So one more down. Now what are we going to do over here? I'm going to look at my different cut aparts, my graphics, and I'm going to go through here and pick out my favorites that I have to have, because I don't want to get to designing and get everything cute and then realize I didn't have room for something that I wanted. So see, now this one needs to tuck in like this way. We need like a pocket somewhere to where that tucks in. And we got a red page. No, the red page doesn't have flaps. Well, we'll figure it out. I'm going to go through here and pick out my faves and figure out which pages they coordinate with color-wise and graphic-wise. And then I'll figure out a way to get them on that page. If that made any sense. I sure hope it did. Anyway, I'm going to do a little plotting and planning and thinking, and I'll get back to you with what I came up with. You do the same with your paper. Alright, so we've had a change of plan. I was going to go ahead and finish all the decorating in this part 2 video. But like I said in my pre-ramble to part 1, there's been a change, and I'm now going to go ahead and do a third video with the final embellishments and decorating so that I can go ahead and get this out on YouTube so y'all can get started, because I'm not real sure when I will get the rest of the decorating done. I did my first 4 to midnight last night. I survived it. I'm okay. I may try and get a little more done today and start working on video 3, but right now I'm just going to format this and get it uploaded, and we're just going to have to go from there, everybody. I hope you're enjoying it so far. I hope it's easy to follow. It's not a complicated mini. And the good news is I did get what I was waiting for to be able to make the flowers, and that is a roll of 4-inch burlap. So I do now have the missing component, and we'll be able to get that going here pretty soon. I don't think I'm going to work on it today. Maybe we'll get lucky and I'll have a little more energy in the next day or two. Definitely by the weekend I'll be okay. So this is the end of 2, so I can get it out there, and I will see y'all back in part 3 to finish everything up. Thanks so much for hanging in there with me, and I'll see you again real soon. Ciao for now.